I happened to be here in 2015 when the crisis was at its peak. It's been going for a few years before that, but 2015 and 2016 was insanity here. Just every single day, so many boats, so many people arriving. We were working non-stop. There was no time to stop at all because it was just one boat after another. And the early days, there was not much help at all. So there were not many services here, not many NGOs. It was mostly the volunteers running in the water, pulling the boats. And you could see the boats overturn, you know, and sometimes there was not enough help to go out and get them. I'm amazed that not many more people died during those months, but there were a lot of volunteers in 2015. Some are prepared, it depends on which organisation they're working for, but many come quite naive, and I think not even naive, they're not aware of the intensity of the situation here, or the reality of what is happening, because you see it on the news, you see things happening, you hear things, you read things. When you're living it, and you're actually visually seeing that every day, nothing can prepare you for it. For the amount of people coming off, you know, from the shores, the amount of people in Moriya, the conditions that people have to stay in, yeah, and the stories.
Many organizations, people are coming with a lot of goodwill to help the others. But many times the way they help is actually make the people who suffer or are the victims go deeper into the victim mindset or the beggar mindset.
Many refugees, they don't know they are actually volunteers. They think they are fictional people. This is their job. They have to help me. They have to give me anything. So this is a bad thing from refugees.
So places like the camps often fail because they're set up with what people think they need, the basics. But what they're not providing is stimulation, education, empowerment, value. They're not giving these things to people. People are numbers in a camp. They're not seen as individuals. And each person here has a skill. Each person needs to be seen. And that's what people will say here. What do you need? I need to be seen, I need to be friendship, and I need a bit of humanity. I don't care about the food. I don't care about the shelter, I can get that. We can find all that, but what we can't find is people treating us as valuable beings. When I was here in 2015, I kind of decided that I had to move back to keep helping. So I quit my job, I sold my flat, I sold everything, so I could come back here long term to keep helping. And I don't see it as a martyrdom, I don't see that at all, because and that's another thing that people say, oh, aren't you good, oh, aren't you great, and aren't you wonderful for helping? It's like, no, not really, because actually what I'm getting back is the connection. I'm getting back so much more. So it's an equal exchange of just wonderful gifts that we're giving each other in life. And that is kind of life. Life is about connection, looking after each other, gaining experiences, sharing experiences, and empowering each other to do well. You know, not to put someone down there just because you want to feel better about yourself.
You can never be fully prepared before you go volunteering to such a place. I'm here the third time and I was not prepared when I came here because the situation changes so much and it's always different. It changes a lot, the people which are there, nationalities, the culture, the situation they're living in, and it's always changing, so you cannot really prepare yourself before you go volunteering. But it's very good if the people which are coming to volunteer have some information about what's going on the island, what is a refugee, where have they been through, what was the journey, more or less, just some ideas that they are a bit prepared of coming here. So if people are coming to such places, saying I want to change the world, or I'm here to help those people, kind of like that. This can create bad experiences because this creates more trouble and more chaos.
The shift is to move from foreign aid to self-aid. And that's very important, because many times we are giving, but then the other become passive. They're supposed just to get so needy. We do in a different way. We don't ask what you need. We ask, what is your ability? What is your capacity? What do you know? And when we start from this, then we move to the next step. What is the challenge you're facing? And the third step, okay, how can you solve it? Not how can I solve it, how can you solve it? And we just here to help them to rediscover what they already knew. Then they start to climb the ladder out of the hole by themselves. And that's the moment you know they don't need you anymore. And that's what you want, that they will help themselves and not rely on outsider to help them. Of course, it might be in the first place to remind them that they can do it. Maybe that's our task, but not to do it instead of them. Do it with them and let them lead the way. Most of the things we cannot solve, but what we can solve is to see them as human beings with dreams, with hope, with abilities, and with a lot of challenges. And whatever we can support, we support. Whatever we are not able to support, we must be very clear. Don't promise it.
The guys used to come off the boat and they'd get a soggy wet bag of dates and give it and share it with us. That might be the only food they have for a whole week. But they would share it. So this is what people can learn. We can learn a lot from humanity by spending time. So the volunteers who come, as we were saying, get time to speak to people, learn their stories, really, really value that and take those lessons, because it's just an amazing exchange of gifts. That's all, it is a gift. I can gift to you my knowledge and my experience, you gift it to me, and together we can make massive change.